Hi guys, hello everyone, good evening all of you, how are you all doing? Please let me know if I'm live. Yes, send me a hi or hello in the comment section. I hope you guys are doing great. How was your weekend guys? I hope you studied well. Fine. So first of all, today's session is about Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdom. Okay. So ये क्या है? ये पड़ोसी हैं. They are neighbors. So this is a normal and common thing that neighbors fight. They do fight sometimes, right? So here also Bahmanis and Vijayanagar Empire, they used to fight a lot. And so many territorial disputes were there. You'll see ultimately the Bahmani kingdom will be disintegrated and it will be known as the Deccan Sultanate. Okay. We saw 5 different sultans came and they disintegrated it. They divided the entire Bahmani part and they made it their own independent territory by dividing the area. Okay, so Ahmednagar, Bijapur, Birar, Bidar, Golconda, all these 5 sultans, they got separated. But whenever they used to come together, it was known as an alliance. Can you tell me the name of that alliance? I have told you this already in the last class. So I just want to see if you guys are revising or not. Okay, yes. Great to see you all. Great to see you all. Please like the video and share it. Okay. And as you know, we have made the English channel also for Hindi students and those who like to watch classes in Aam Bolchal ki bhasha, in simple language, in daily language. If you like to watch the classes, if you enjoy it more, then you can join that channel. The link was shared with you already, and I'll be sharing you the links of live classes there also, because I'll be taking morning sessions there in English channel and evening sessions here in the English channel of Sunya IAS. Okay, so you just join that and do share it with other learners. Okay, so this is your lecture number 7. Here you can see this is very, very important architecture of Vijayanagar Empire from Hampi. And I asked you a question that what was the Grand Alliance known as? It was known as what? Deccan Sultanate, the Grand Alliance. Okay, Deccan Sultanate, the Grand Alliance. So we'll see what the alliance was doing, how it used to function. First of all, we'll start from the sources to study the Vijayanagar Empire. Like, how do we get to know about it? What kind of literary records we have? What kind of archaeological evidences we have? Then we will come to the political history of Vijayanagar Empire, where we will discuss that how dynasties came. There are Saluva, Tuluva, Aravidu dynasties. So we need to discuss about all those dynasties and their important ruler. See, we have many rulers, but we'll not cover each and every one of them. Just the important one will do. And then administration and social life of Vijayanagar Empire. Basically, it was known as the richest, one of the richest province of the world, one of the richest kingdoms, you can say. And that time people used to come here, visit Vijayanagar to see the wealth and beauty of this empire. Niccolo di Conti, okay, so many other, Ibn Battuta, so many other travelers came. Domingo Pais, all these travelers, they came here. They wanted to see the real beauty of India, the wealth of Vijayanagar Empire, and they wrote a lot about it in their travelogue. They discussed how Vijayanagar Empire had such a nice, luxurious life. So many servants, so many people, and everything was going very fine. Yes, poor people, yes, of course. Every time in the society, you'll have poor people. So, poor people were always there, but most of the society got developed and they had a very high level of luxurious life. So, that we will discuss the economic condition, cultural condition, and the brief history of Bahmani Kingdom. Why Bahmani Kingdom will be discussed briefly? Because it is only important because it had to fight with Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, and then it disintegrated, so we'll not go into the details. Let's see these two neighbors, how they used to work. So this is Bahmani Kingdom and this is Vijayanagar Empire. So we'll start from which one? Any guess? Any guess, guys? We'll start from which one? Bahmani Kingdom or Vijayanagar Empire? Which we should do first? I can't see that you guys are giving me the right answers today. Why? सब भूल गए हैं, 2 दिन में सब सफा हो गया. History so बेवफा, सब सफा. 2 दिन में Saturday, Sunday. Why you guys don't revise? Saturday, Sunday is for your revision. That's why I, avoid taking classes so that you get some time to relax and revise and learn things, and you prepare some good answers so that you shock me on Monday, but you do nothing. And you have not liked the video even. I can see so many students are there, they have not liked the video. Why, guys? Don't you like me? Don't you like the session and content? At least for the free classes, you can just appreciate me and the team that we should bring more courses like this. How would we know that you guys are enjoying or not? Let me know if there is an issue, otherwise just like it, okay? And then we will start from the Vijayanagar Empire. Fine. So in the Vijayanagar Empire, we have 4 dynasty. Vijay तो आप सबको पता है. What is Vijay? If you know a bit of Hindi, Vijay means victory. Okay, so Vijayanagar Empire, we will start from Vijayanagar Empire today, and this Vijayanagar Empire had 4 different dynasties. 4 families ruled in the Vijayanagar Empire. Like in Delhi Sultanate, we covered 5 dynasty, right? Slave dynasty, Khilji, Sayyid, Tughlaq, Lodhi. 5 dynasties were there in the Delhi Sultanate. Here we have only 4 dynasties in the Vijayanagar Empire. Clear? Now, first dynasty is Sangam dynasty. Okay, and then you will see Saluva dynasty, Tuluva dynasty, and Aravidu dynasty of Vijayanagar Empire. Fine. So let's start from the Sangam dynasty. So can you see the time period here? It is from 1336 to 1672. Okay, so it's a very long period of history. So tell me, who came first in India? Europeans came first in India or Babur? Babur came first in India, means Mughal in North India came first, or Europeans came first. The European penetration happened first. कौन पहले आया था? 1498 Vasco da Gama reached Calicut. Okay, Vasco da Gama reached Calicut. And 1526, Babur got the victory in the first battle of Panipat. So we can here conclude that Europeans came first. So they were ahead of the Mughals. So when you read the Mughal dynasty in North India, simultaneously we should read the European history, the penetration of and advent of Europeans in India in the South India, in South Indian history. The problem is that we, in the NCERT books, maybe it is written according to the North Indian perspective. And sometimes I don't feel good about it because we are a good big country and we should see the other perspective also. We talk about Mughals a lot. We have discussed Mughals a lot in medieval history because they came from the North India and yes, northwestern part and then Panipat, then they were ruling the North India, penetrated in South India later. But ultimately, on the same time, we had Portuguese. Portuguese came here and Portuguese started their good relations with Vijayanagar Empire. We will see that they used to exchange ambassadors also, and they got the Goa captured in 1510 from the Sultan of Bijapur. Okay, they will capture Goa. Portuguese will capture Goa. So you will see the way they will capture Goa, the kind of ambassadors they used to send in the court of Krishna Devaraya, and the way they used to do the village administration. So their dealings with the society is important, right? So when you do the Mughals in North, you need to see the Portuguese in South. Then French, how the French East India Company came. After French East India Company, the clash with the British East India Company, the Carnatic Wars, all those things we should focus. But NCERT is not focusing on that, which is very, very problematic to see. Fine. But we will try to cover it up. What we will do both the sides of history, Mughals also, Portuguese also, because they were running simultaneously at the same time. even before Mughals, Portuguese came to India and they established their, small factories. So we need to discuss that, and to cover it up, I have taken few of the points from the Tamil Nadu history book and few points from the spectrum, so that you don't miss any point. Okay, so you don't have any chronological problem at all. Clear? Now, first of all, here we will see that this particular part, Vijayanagar Empire, it was very, very strong initially. So, Sangam, Saluva, Tuluva, Aravidu. So, ultimately, in the end, you will see the disintegration and the downfall of Vijayanagar Empire. So, it's quite clear that the downfall will be there in the Aravidu dynasty. Isn't it? It's logical, because already so many dynasties came and it was doing fine, but after Aravidu we don't see any more dynasties. So we can conclude that Aravidu was the last dynasty from where the downfall started. So we can here conclude this about the Vijayanagar Empire. Now let's come to the sources. Sources to understand Vijayanagar Empire and the history. So we have many literary records and archaeological evidences. And we have numismatics also. So tell me one thing, guys. Do we rely more on literary records or we rely more on archaeological evidences? What do you think? Historians, when they write the history of any period, any time, they rely more on what? They like to see, or they search for what more in their studies, and they really trust. What do you think? It is always the archaeological evidences. Remember this. In few of the parts of the history, we had no archaeological evidences, like the downfall of Harappan civilization, advent of Aryans in India, the way Aryans came. So about Aryans, Vedic period, we don't have any archaeological record. We only have literary records. We only have Rig Veda. But still we rely on it because we don't have any archaeological evidence at all. But so many literary records support it, and it confirms again and again. It gets confirmed again and again in many foreign records, in many Indian records. So similar things written by many of the rulers and many of the writers, patronized by many of the authors at that time. It shows that yes, we can confirm it. But most of the time it is all about archaeological evidences. Always remember this. And when you get to see any archaeological evidence, the confirmation comes on the spot that yes, this is the part of very much my history, and this needs no more literary confirmations. Even if the literary record is not there, the literary records will be made, the history will be written, because archaeological evidence was found. If any excavation site was found, if any material was found. So we have a good amount of archaeological evidence. We have the Hampi. Hampi was the capital of Vijayanagar Empire. So we found that capital, very, very important capital. The mention is still there in Ramayana. Okay, people, they talk about Hampi a lot. And recently I have watched a movie where they, discuss Ramayana. I don't remember, Singham again, they have discussed something about Ramayana, and there I have seen that they discuss the Hampi also. Fine. Now, I got to see that Ashish Dhotra gave the right answer about archaeological evidences. Yes, you're right. Yes, that's great. It is fine that literary records can be manipulating, I agree. And sometimes, the writer, they have their own perspectives also. You never know that if it was written in a right way or not. Let's say I write journal. Okay, I have you see people, they write manifestations also. They write about their manifestation that I will be living in a big mansion. I'll be having Ferrari. I'll be having a Lamborghini soon. In 2025, I'll top and get AIR1. Like this, they do this manifestation. But after, let's say, in case, after thousands of years, if these diaries would be found, people, who will read them, they may find that so many people had Lamborghini, so many people had houses, because they are not saying that I wish to have it when they manifest. They write that I have it and I am enjoying it. I will be doing it. Anyhow, it is going to be with me. So that's why you see the kind of manipulation it can be. You never know that if it was just a manifestation, or it was the right thing written, or it was the experience of somebody, or was it just an imagination. Nobody can tell you, right? That's why archaeological evidences are more reliable. Numismatics are also very reliable. So some of the famous literary records of this period are Amukya Malyada. It is by Krishna Devraya. He was a king of Vijayanagar Empire. Very, very important king, very famous king. Krishna Devraya. Okay. And then Madhur Vijayam is by Ganga Devi. Manu Charitam by Allasani Pedanna. Please remember the name Allasani Pedanna. Write it down again and again in your notes. Remember the spelling. Very, very, very important, guys. This writer is going to be repeated in the history books again and again because of his contributions. We remember Kalidas, we remember so many other writers, but sometimes when we come to the South Indian history, we tend to ignore few facts. We don't understand that in South India also, in Kannada literature, in so many other kingdoms, we had great writers. Okay, we had golden literatures. We should not forget their name. Okay, like Mirch Katika and so many other literary records are there, so we need to remember them. Allasani Pedanna is mentioned in NCERT and other books again and again. He was a great author. We'll come to know that he served in the court of Krishna Devraya and he wrote so many other things. We'll come to know about it. Okay, so yes, he is important. We had many foreign travelers. As I told you, people wanted to see the wealth. They wanted to know more about Vijayanagar Empire. They were very, very interested, and that's why foreign travelers are important. They gave valuable accounts on the socio-economic conditions of the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, then the Moroccan traveler Ibn Battuta was also there. He is very important for us. Then one traveler from Venice city, Venetian traveler Niccolo di Conti. Basically, the Venice city, it is in Italy, and it's a city where you will feel a different kind of art. Okay, and even in Greater Noida, I have seen there is a mall, and it is made on the theme of Venice, the Venice Mall. If you want to search, just search it. You'll find that in India, people are also following those themes and making malls and parks like this. And they try to, copy that particular architecture, the style of river and flow like that. So yes, very, very popular. Venetian traveler, Niccolo di Conti. Persian traveler, Abdur Razzaq. Portuguese traveler, Domingo Pais. All these travelers were there. Can you see one thing? Portuguese came to India and Portuguese searched a new sea route. They were the first, okay, because of the obsession of King Henry. He had the obsession that I want to find new routes. He is also given the title the Navigator. Okay, so you'll see more about that Portuguese king, the Henry, and we will discuss more about them when we'll come to the advent of Europeans in India, how the Portuguese started discovering India, what they wanted to do, what exactly was going on in their mind. We'll come to know, but just understand that travelers used to come here. We had many other travelers and traders. European trade was already going fine with us. But when it comes to the discovery of new sea route, that's important. That makes the difference here. Why? Because already the contacts were going on. Travelers and people, a good flow of goods, services, people, everything was going on. Exchange was already there. But it was through the land routes. They came here, these travelers, they never came from that new sea route which was discovered by the Europeans later, by the Portuguese in particular, if I say. From Lisbon to Calicut, the kind of, struggle they had, it was very, very problematic. When then they discovered the monsoon, the kind of waves, then they reached here. So before going to that, before doing it and achieving it, these travelers used to follow a mix of land route and sea route, which used to be there from the northwestern part of India, following the route of the Red Sea. So that's why Red Sea was more utilized by them, and it was a good connecting point. And if you look at the map also, no, you will see that in reality Europe is not that far. Okay, America is, is there, and you need to travel more for America if you need to go there. But Europe, you'll see that if you follow a short route from the Red Sea, it's not too far. And maybe that's why Aryans came here, and Aryans also went to the Europe. Aryans are there in Germany also. Aryans are there in Bihar also. How come it is possible? Same kind of skin texture, same kind of language, Sanskrit words, root words are common with those words which they follow in their own country. How is it possible? Just because the distance was not that high, and even if the distance was high, it was quite, friendly, travel friendly, that they could, come here and migrate to this place. So that's why you will see that those similarities are there. But a discovery of new long sea route happened. Why they had to search it? Because Ottoman Turks, they captured the part of Istanbul which is known as Constantinople. So Constantinople was captured by them, and after that they had to find, Europeans had to find a new sea route to avoid the Muslim intermediaries. But if you don't understand this line which I just said, don't worry, it shows that you have not started your modern Indian history. I'll be coming to it. I'll discuss the Arab, how, Arab world was there, what was Ottoman Empire, how it used to be, why Ottoman Empire captured Constantinople or Istanbul, and then after getting Istanbul, how they changed the entire course of history, why Europeans were so adamant to search a new sea route, why didn't they negotiate with those Muslim intermediaries to reach India, what kind of challenges they faced. That is a new set. Okay, and that set we will start next week, because this week only in 4 or 5 days we will complete medieval India, and then we need to start the modern. In medieval India we only have Marathas and Mughals, and few important small lectures are there about some other kingdoms, and then medieval history will be finished. So we will start modern Indian history from Monday. So just stay tuned for that. Wanted to give you a base and idea. Now we also have some inscriptions, like the copper plate inscription is there. So Srirangam copper plates are important for us. Srirangam copper plate inscription of Devraya II. It provides the genealogy and achievements of Vijayanagar rulers. So can you see here genealogy, like how the king used to be, the father of king, the grandparents, everything, the entire family tree is mentioned. So these copper plates are important. Copper, I told you that it was the first metal to be discovered. It is still considered very pure in Hinduism. Have you seen that? If you if you have seen that in a Hindu family, when they do worship something, they don't keep any other material in puja ke bartan. They keep materials made by copper or bronze. They prefer it more in the temples. Why they do it? They still consider it very, very pure. Okay. Yes. Fine. Now next is very, very important, that the monuments of Hampi. Hampi, I told you, Hampi is what? It is the capital. Okay, it is the capital. So the monument of Hampi, they provide information on the cultural contributions of Vijayanagar rulers. The numerous coins issued by the Vijayanagar rulers, they contain figures and legends explaining their titles and achievements. Okay, so we see that they used to take titles, and this is a great fashion, that rulers, they always used to take the title. Do you see any relevance of it? If you already have a name and you conquered the territory, then why you need to take a title? Why they used to take these new titles every time, every year, after every battle, conquest or victory? What did it signify, or was it so important to do? What do you think? Is there any benefit of keeping those titles? Tell me in the comments. Let's see if you are creative enough to give me a good answer. Let's see. I asked you that why they used to keep so many titles. Was there any use? Okay. Meanwhile, I'll discuss some political history with you. So Vijayanagar, okay, it was started by Harihar and Bukka. Remember these two people. Very important, guys. So Vijayanagar was founded by in 1336. It's easy to remember. The date is very easy to remember. 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. So 1336. Okay. And two people we had. So double we know. 1336 by Harihar and Bukka of the Sangam dynasty. So first dynasty is Sangam dynasty. So how they thought to do it? Okay, what came to their mind? How it got established? Let's see. Basically, they were originally serving, and it was under the Kakatiya rulers. They served under the Kakatiya rulers of Warangal. I told you about the Warangal area. In the last class, we have seen it in the map. If you have missed the last class, if you are not revising, please revise. Please watch the lectures again and again. And it's very easy for you to do it on YouTube, because you can easily rewind it, play it, speed increase, decrease, do it as the way you want. Utilize the extra times you have. You can go for a walk and listen to it, or if you're cleaning your room, if you're arranging things there, then you can watch. While having lunch or dinner, you can watch. So there are different ways to revise. Fine. So Warangals we have seen. Okay. So Warangals, the Kakatiya rulers of Warangals, when they were ruling, under them, these two, Harihar and Bukka, these guys, they used to serve. They used to be there in the court, and they used to take care of their administration. Then they went to the Kampili, where they were imprisoned and converted to Islam. Now they started following Islam, but the problem was somehow they could not tolerate this kind of conversion which happened to them. So later they returned to the Hindu fold again, and the initiative of the Saint Vidyaranya is important. Basically, Vidyaranya only helped them to return and get the purification done. They also proclaimed their independence and founded a new city on the south bank of Tungbhadra river. Initially, with this city, they started the rule, and this area was now known as Vijayanagar, means the city of victory. Okay, so this is how they got to capture the territories and get the land. So it was just because they knew about the administration. They were already working for the administration. So they had the idea that how can they work and what they could do. So what enabled Harihar and Bukka to expand their newly founded kingdom? Why it happened? Because they just started from a small city, which was Vijayanagar. Then how they got such a big empire? Basically, they saw the decline of Hoysala kingdom. And when they saw the decline of Hoysala kingdom, I told you about Hoysala kingdom also, which was already there. And Hoysala kingdom also used to follow zigzag patterns in their temple styles. They had that Hoysala art of temple architecture. So when the downfall started, it paved the way for the expansion of the kingdom for Harihar and Bukka in the Vijayanagar. So by 1346, they decided that they can get the entire part of Hoysala kingdom under their control, and they captured it and made it their own territory. So in this way, they started the expansion. They had great military skills, good intelligence. That's why they could survive. The struggle between Vijayanagar Empire and Sultanate of Madurai got started later, because Madurai in the extreme south also was doing fine. If you remember, it already had so many clashes with Delhi Sultanate also. So of course Madurai wanted to be more powerful, and here he destroyed the Madurai Sultans. Basically Harihar and Bukka, they did it, and they got the area of whole South India up to Rameshwaram, and it lasted for about 4 decades. Like for 400 years they could survive on this particular part. And 40 years they could survive in this particular part, and the Vijayanagar Empire maintained it for good amount of time. You will see that Kumar Kampana expedition is important here. Kumar Kampana is the ruler who started the military expedition to Madurai, and it was described in the Madur Vijayam. The book I told you is a great source to know the history of Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, that's very, very important. Hello Ramkishan, I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. And Ajay is saying that I went to Vijayanagar and saw the Krishna Devaraya forts. That's great. I really appreciate when you guys go and see these places. Tell us more that what exactly you saw and how it was. Okay. Next is to satisfy their ego and get written it in manuscripts, inscription, etc. to get famous in history. Sri Lakshmi, very nice, very blunt, but don't write it in the answer. Okay, you can't be so blunt in your answers. And I told you that you need to start practicing it with the comments. Fine, that okay, they wanted to satisfy their ego or whatever. See, we know we are humans and how we behave and think, but the significance of keeping those titles, it is just to you know have something in the mind that okay, uh, I need to confirm something to my audience, to my public, and they should know me with this name also. Let's say I am very fashionable and I always change new things. I always take on the trends and I do my clothings and things accordingly. So I would always love people to remember me with a title which is very fashionable. So people should know that okay, I am very fashionable, so that if they know my name, if they learn anything about me with my title, they'll automatically learn that I have this kind of quality in my personality. And this is how I am different from others. So they used to take it just because it made it easy for public to remember them in the quality or the sense the way they wanted. So that's why after achieving something, after getting something, they used to assume these titles. Okay, so that's why they had to do it. And somehow when they used to conquer the territory, when they used to destroy something like Vatapi Konda, destroyer of Vatapi, this is a big deal, guys. Killing Pulkesh II and getting such a big territory, Vatapi Konda, the title which was taken by Narsimha, it somehow is important to take. Don't you think so? That it was important for him to take this title. Otherwise, this part of history could be a general part or a general, history in which you could have never got to feel that kind of, anger, that craze which he took and the way he fought the battle. Just by listening to this term, Vatapi Konda, by just going to this title, you get to see that kind of image of that battle scene in your mind. It comes automatically, right? So this is the reason why they used to take the titles, so that people learn it, understand and imagine it in a more realistic way. Okay, the conflict between Vijayanagar Empire and Bahmani Kingdom got started. If the reason you see, the dispute over Raichur Doab was always there. I told you that Raichur Doab is the Doab area. It is the land between two rivers, which is the river between Krishna and Tungbhadra. So these two rivers, okay, Krishna river and Tungbhadra river, the land between these two rivers. So this area was always very fertile and always had the dispute. Every time you will see. Okay, the Ganga Yamuna Doab in North India, always disputed. Raichur Doab in South India, always disputed. This is something common which you should always remember when you read history. Na? Just keep this in mind that itna to hoga hi hoga. It's always going to be there. Fine. Now, here it also, it was the area or the fertile areas of Krishna Godavari Delta. They also got the disputes. So basically conflict happened just because of these disputed region. This is the conflict between Vijayanagar Empire and Bahmani Kingdom. Basically, we need to understand that why these neighbors used to fight. Will you fight for something which is not fertile enough? Which is of no use? No. Why would you fight for something like that? You can only fight for something where you can get out of some, a good deal, where you can, have some investments if it is a resourceful region. So that's why here the dispute was high. And if the region is more resourceful, highly resourceful, then the dispute will be on a higher level. Like the Kashmiri dispute. Why the dispute is so big? Why it is not getting resolved? Because the resourceful nature of that particular locality is there. That's why the dispute is so big. So bigger the area, bigger the benefits, bigger will be the dispute also. So here the greatest ruler of the Sangam dynasty comes. I hope you know that we are reading about the dynasties of Vijayanagar Empire. So Sangam, Suluva, Tuluva, Aravidu, 4 dynasties. Remember, so Sangam dynasty's best and most important ruler is Devraya II. And after his death, Sangam dynasty became weak. So we don't need to read the details of Sangam dynasty. We can end it here, because for optional you need to read more, but if you are reading only for GS history, then that's it. No need to go beyond this point. Okay, the next dynasty was Saluva dynasty. So Saluva dynasty was founded by Saluva Narasimha. From 1486 to 1509 he ruled, and after his death also you will see that Saluva dynasty see the decline. Okay, so Saluva Narasimha founded the new dynasty, Saluva dynasty. Then you will see Tuluva dynasty, 3rd dynasty, Tuluva dynasty. From the Tuluva dynasty, we saw the most important and powerful king of Vijayanagar Empire, Krishna Devaraya. Krishna Devaraya, from 1509 to 1530, he ruled almost 20 years, and the Tuluva dynasty, from where the Krishna Devaraya comes, it was founded by Veera Narasimha. Can you just see the difference? Veera Narasimha started Tuluva dynasty, okay, and here Saluva Narasimha started Saluva dynasty. So remember, Saluva Narasimha started Saluva dynasty, Veera Narasimha started Tuluva dynasty. Okay, and one more point, Narasimha is a very common name. Narasimha Varman. Okay, if you remember, who killed Pulkeshin also. He also took the title like Vatapi Kunda. We just discussed that. So Narasimha Varman was a common title, common root word, which you can see repeated again and again. Okay, it's an avatar of Vishnu, where he took the avatar of Singh avatar. So Nar Singh. So Narasimha comes from there. Okay, now Krishna Devaraya belonged to the Tulva dynasty, and the most important part about Krishna Devaraya is he maintained good relations with foreigners. The advent of European happened in this particular time only, it was expanding, so they used to exchange ambassadors, they used to understand the trade and commercial activities. So his military campaigns are important because he was having a good understanding of military ability. His first task to check the invading Bahmani forces. The Muslim armies were decisively defeated in the battle of Divani by Krishna Devaraya. He also invaded Raichur Doab. Confrontation with the Sultan of Bijapur happened. Ismail Adil Shah was there. Ismail Adil Shah was the ruler who had the fight with them, and ultimately this kind of development happened where he invaded Raichur Doab, and Krishna Devaraya defeated the Ismail Adil Shah, ruler of Bijapur, captured the city of Raichur in 1520, which is considered a great victory. Please write this line if it is possible for you. Write it down in the notes. Yes, it's also because of the beauty of Kashmir. Yes, I agree. That's right. That's right. Okay, please write this point about Krishna Devaraya. Krishna Devaraya invaded Raichur Doab, in bracket. Confrontation with the Sultan of Bijapur happened. Ismail Adil Shah. Comma. Krishna Devaraya defeated Ismail Adil Shah and captured the city Raichur in 1520. Now look at the date. This date is important. 1520. I want you to remember, because when we will discuss the advent of Europeans, no, when we will come to see the Portuguese, so 1509, 15010, these dates will be important for you. So that's why I want you to remember this date, 1520. After 6 years, what will happen? 1526 is the date of Battle of Panipat, yes. Okay, Battle of Panipat. So we will discuss Battle of Panipat after, like we have already covered it, but we'll discuss it more when we will come to Mughals after this, lecture. Basically, you will see that when Vijayanagar Empire was at its peak, when Krishna Dev Raya was ruling, look at the date. When Krishna Dev Raya is ruling, what is happening in India? What else is happening? 1509 is the date where you will see that Portuguese will have a great battle. The Battle of Diu will be there, the naval battle in which Egyptian Sultan will help the Gujarati Sultan, and they will all fight against the Portuguese, and we will see that Portuguese had three important governors. We will see Francisco de Almeida, Alfonso de Albuquerque, and third was Nino de Cunha. Okay, these three names you will read when we will come to discuss Portuguese. So Alfonso de Albuquerque, uh, Francisco de Almeida. First, Francisco de Almeida was there. So Francisco de Almeida is connected with the date of 1509, and he had a great level of securing things for Portuguese in India, and they were very sincere. Okay, so you will see the blue water policy which he will start is very relevant with the date of 1509. Okay, and 1526 we know the first battle of Panipat where Babur came. So you can understand here that in south Portuguese started their good stronghold by starting blue water policy in 1509. In 1526 Babur came and Mughal empire got started, and 1530 till 1530 Krishna Dev Raya ruled in India. So when Krishna Dev Raya was ruling India in the Vijayanagar empire, Babur and Portuguese also ruled simultaneously in other parts of India. This understanding you should have, and this interlinking you'll not get just by reading the books. That's why the classes are important for you. Okay, where you get to connect the points. Okay, when you read the book, you'll read Mughals in a different chapter, you'll read the other story in a different chapter. But from now, what we will do, as you see a transitional period now, which is happening from medieval to modern history. Fine. So again, we need to intermix few dates. We need to see that how the 1509 is important, and from the journey from 1509 to 1530 is important. Why? Okay, what happened in between? What happened in between? Because it's not just about Krishna Dev Raya. He was there in Vijayanagar, but what was happening outside Vijayanagar? That is also important, because in this time only 15010 the Goa will be captured by Portuguese from the Sultan of Bijapur. So that's also important. That is again a new development, that Portuguese started capturing the areas. Fine. They could do so. Himmat dekho unki, it's all about their himmat, the kind of courage they had when Krishna Dev Raya was ruling already. Okay, so Krishna Dev Raya also marched on Bidar and captured the area of Bidar. Bidar is again a sultanate which got disintegrated later from the Bahmani kingdom. Orissa campaign is important because Krishna Dev Raya defeated the Gajapati ruler Pratap Rudra and conquered the whole Telangana. So this is very important. Entire Telangana, Orissa was there under the control of Krishna Dev Raya. Clear? Is there any doubt till now? Next, see, Krishna Dev Raya also had good relations with Portuguese, which I have already told you. Albuquerque was the second governor. I told you first is Francisco de Almeida, first Portuguese governor. Second governor is Alfonso de Albuquerque. Alfonso mango pata hai? Alfonso mango. Have you tried it? Have you tasted Alfonso mango, or do you know the flavor? Alfonso, same. Just remember by that. So Alfonso de Albuquerque was the greatest of all the Portuguese governors. After him, next governor will be Nino de Cunha. Okay, we will discuss more about him later. But right now, the second governor of Portuguese who was there in India, Alfonso de Albuquerque, He started village administration in India. He was the first to ban the sati pratha, sati system in India, which is important to remember. No other, European ruler, Indian ruler, anyone else did it. But in his area, Albuquerque did this. He stopped sati system. He started good village administration, local road buildings, many silversmiths, goldsmiths started working under them. The metallurgical art started flourishing. You know, we will discuss more about Albuquerque when we'll come to Portuguese. Right now, just understand that Krishna Dev Raya had good relations. Albuquerque sent his ambassadors to Krishna Dev Raya's court. However, Krishna Dev Raya was a Vaishnavit, but he respected all religions. He was a great ruler because he was tolerant ruler. He was respecting everything. Okay, and he was a great patron of literature and art. He was known as Andhra Bhoja. Please remember, you please write this point. In prelims, they can ask you that who is Andhra Bhoja. Direct question can come in exam. So Andhra Bhoja, whenever you write about Krishna Dev Raya in any of the answer in mains, please ensure that you mention the term Andhra Bhoja. Andhra Bhoja. He was great patron of literature, and that's why he was known as Andhra Bhoja. Why? Because in North India also we had Raja Bhoj. Kahan Raja Bhoj, kahan Gangu Teli. है ना, Raja Bhoj. सुना होगा आपने. It's very popular. So in north we had one Raja Bhoj. So similarly, to compare him, in south we used to call him Andhra Bhoj. Okay, the Bhoj of Andhra. Not tasted, Alfonso. Nowadays it's very easy to taste these things. Similar, matlab simply just go to any online grocery store site like Blinkit or whatever and search Alfonso flavor. You'll get the Alfonso juice, mangoes, and those kind of things. Even sometimes seasonal things are not there. They give you the packed juice and those things. You can taste it. You'll find it that it is very, very nice. And why it is so popular, why it is the king of all the flavors, you'll come to know when you'll taste it. Fine. Next is Ashtadiggaj. Ashtadiggaj means दिग्गज. किसी को दिग्गज बोलते ना हिंदी में. दिग्गज means वो तो दिग्गज है. They are scholars, big people. So Ashtadiggaj, 8 दिग्गज थे. 8 eminent scholars were there, and they were there in the royal court of Andhra Bhoja. Who is Andhra Bhoja? Krishna Dev Raya is Andhra Bhoja. Fine. Alasani Pedanna is one of those 8 eminent scholars. Alasani Pedanna, I told you that this name you need to remember. He is the greatest of that particular time, of that all those authors of that time, and he is also known as Andhra Kavita Pitamaga. Very important. Andhra Kavita Pitamaga. He was very popular. Alasani Pedanna. He was called Andhra Kavita Pitamaga. So this is about Alasani Pedanna, who used to live in the court of Krishna Dev Raya. His important works include Manucharitam and Hari Katha Sharama. Please write these two also, Manucharitam and Hari Katha Sharam by Alasani Pedanna. Okay. If we talk about other works and other scholars, we had Pingali Suranna and Tenali Ramakrishna. I hope you know about Tenali Raman. You must have read those stories of Tenali Raman, right? So yes, he is here. Comes from this point, Tenali Ramakrishna. So when we talk about Krishna Dev Raya himself, he also used to write a lot. As he was a king, he also, wrote his own books and things. There is a Telugu work which is known as Amukta Malyada, which is written by Krishna Dev Raya. There is a Sanskrit work which is known as Jambavati Kalyanam and Usha Parinayam. These works are written by Krishna Dev Raya, which shows that the Telugu literature and the Sanskrit revival happened in a big way during the rule of Krishna Dev Raya. And this is the last time you see the revival of Sanskrit and Telugu. Why? Because See, it was very common in ancient times, but you know that right now you are not in the ancient India. Even you are not in the medieval India, I'll say. You are on the transitional point. You are on the border of medieval and modern Indian history right now. Okay, you are discussing the transitional period. So you need to understand here that at this point of time, the Sanskrit works really declined. But there was a ruler who was patronizing these Sanskrit works. So we should remember his name. We should understand here that he repaired most of the temples of South India. He built large number of Raya Gopurams. Can you tell me what is the meaning of Raya Gopuram? What do you mean by Raya Gopuram? Who will tell me? Telugu is also known as the Italian of the East. Okay, that's great. I'm not sure, however. I need to search more on this information which you gave me today. Other students, if you know, you tell me if he is right. Did you get my question? I asked you that what do you mean by Raya Gopuram? Who will tell me? Do you understand Gopuram? What is Gopuram? Gopuram is the gate. Okay. So Raya Gopuram means big gate. Big gate of the temple is Raya Gopuram. Okay. So he also built the famous Vitthal Swami and Hazara Swami temples at Vijayanagar. Okay. He also built a new city called Nagalpuram in memory of his queen Nagal Devi. This is important that they may ask you that what is Nagalpuram and who made it, how and why it was made. So remember that Nagalpuram was made in the memory of Queen Nagal Devi. After his death, Achyutadev, next ruler, Achyutadev became the successor, and Venkata also became the next ruler. But they succeeded the throne, but however, you'll see that they were not that big ruler. Like Krishnadev Raya was great. But then, if we talk about the reign of Ramaraya, okay, why it is so important? Because there was a battle, okay, the battle of Talikota, which happened in 1565. Okay, so when 1565 the battle of Talikota was happening, it is also known as the battle of Raksas Thangadi. Okay, and there are many plays, many theaters, many works written on it because this battle is very popular. Okay, they have written a lot about this particular battle. So the combined forces of Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Golconda, Bidar defeated him. Okay, they all came together, they defeated him. Means the Grand Alliance, the Deccan Sultanate, the Grand Alliance, Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Golconda, Bidar, they all came together to defeat Ramaraya. Okay, so Ramaraya was defeated and Ramaraya was imprisoned and then he was executed, he died, after which the decline of this, Vijayanagar Empire happened. The city of Vijayanagar was destroyed after the battle of Talikota, and this battle was generally considered to the mark and the end of the Vijayanagar Empire. This is how Vijayanagar Empire ended. Okay, so this is done now. So we have discussed Vijayanagar Empire. Now we need to discuss Bahmani Kingdom next. So before I come to Bahmani Kingdom, I want you to know about the administration and society of Vijayanagar. Then we will discuss Bahmani Kingdom. Bahmani Kingdom is very short. It will just take 10 to 15 minutes to finish it. But you get more questions from Vijayanagar Empire and the temple architecture of Vijayanagar Empire, which followed hybrid style, and it also had secular building inside the temple premises. So that's why Vijayanagar Empire will be discussed in more detail. So important rulers of this dynasty, is Thirumala, Sriranga and Venkat II. Okay, the last dynasty, Aravidu. The last ruler of Vijayanagar kingdom was Sri Ranga III, and then the Vijayanagar empire almost, got finished. If we talk about the administration, there was the decentralized administration, well organized decentralized administration. King was the absolute authority in executive, judicial, and legislative matters, and he was the highest court of appeal. Today, which is the highest court of appeal today in India? Where do you get to see the highest court of appeal in India? Ashish, you gave the right answer. Arvind also. Gateway of temple, but a tall gateway. Raya Gopuram, big. Raya Gopuram means big gate, bada darwaza. Supreme Court, exactly. But at that time, King was the Supreme Court. Okay, King was the Supreme Court. The succession to the throne was on the principle of hereditary. Okay, so it was the hereditary succession. The son of king can only become the next king, the next ruler. So it happened like that. And the council of ministers were also there, assisted the king in his day-to-day administration. Administrative units of the empire were there, like mandalams, nadus, sthalas, gramas, all these, administrative units were there. So I'll tell you what is the meaning of mandalam, nadu, sthalas and gramas. I'll just tell you how it happens. See, basically, you know that the country India today is divided among different states. Then states are divided into districts, zilla. Districts are divided into blocks, and then blocks are divided into villages. So in villages we have Gram Sabha, or you can have the Sarpanch, the head of Gram Panchayat. So here also similarly in Vijayanagar Empire the Gramas were there. Gramas means village, Gaon. Okay. Here also they had Sarpanch. Like today we have Sarpanch of Gaon. Fine, clear? Then if you combine many of the villages, the group of many villages, group of villages or grams is known as sthalas. So sthalas are like the blocks, okay, block, or you can say a group of village, okay, a bigger area. Then if you combine many blocks, you'll get a district, which is a zilla. So there you have a zilla parishad. Zilla parishad will be the head of zilla parishad, and you get to see a officer, DM, collector, which you can become after clearing the exam, the IAS officer, who is the district head. So you will see that we always have two set of administrators according to the government of India. We'll have the elected head, and we can also have the appointed head. One person will be the appointed person who will clear the exam and get the job according to the government, and it will be a government service. So a government service will be appointed. Simultaneously, one elected head will always be there. So who is more powerful? The appointed officer is more powerful than the elected head. What do you think? Yes or no? Who is having more power in India? Those who are elected or those who are appointed? Like for example, I'll tell you. Like for India, we have PM, Pradhan Mantri. Okay, PM is elected head. Okay, PM is elected by the people. PM will have more power, or the person, the topmost IS officer of PMO, who is the cabinet secretary, you can say. The cabinet secretary here, on the other hand, will have more power. What do you think? Who is having the more power? Cabinet secretary or PM? PM, of course, because he is directly elected by the people, as we are in a democratic country. So people are more important than anything else. And one who is chosen by the people, for the people, that person will be always having more power. That's why politicians are more powerful. That's why it is said that these elected heads are politicians, or these elected people are more powerful, and as they are coming from the direct elections, or indirectly even if they are coming, they are working for the people, and the work of these appointed government servants is to help these elected heads or the public. So they are the public servant, they are the government servants, but elected heads are the real government. So government means being elected person, then you are the government now. But if you are appointed, then you are a government servant. You're not the government, but you're the servant of the government. So you will be serving this elected head. Fine. Then in states we have CM, but in state also, in the CMO office, you will have a cabinet secretary of the state. Okay, in district you can have a DM or collector. Okay, in district also, in Zilla Parshad is going to be there. In blocks, you must be knowing about BDO officers, block development officers are there. But in blocks also, you can see that we have a block chairman who is going to be the elected head of that particular area. Fine. In villages, you have Sarpanch, but Sarpanch is the elected head, but you still have the Panchayat Sachiv. If you have seen the Panchayat series on OTT platform, you must be knowing about Sachiv ji, okay, the secretary. So in this way, we can have different appointed administrators simultaneously working and serving the government, or the government officers for public. Okay, so in this way, the similar arrangement was there here also in the Vijayanagar Empire, where in every mandal is like a state. In every mandal there will be a state head, okay, who will be known as Nayak. Have you seen the movie Nayak of Anil Kapoor? I used to wonder why Ek Din Ka CM, one day CM, is known as a Nayak. Nayak, because I thought that Nayak means actor or the hero. Okay, in Hindi Nayak is a very common word, but I later understood that Nayak means chief minister in South India, and that's why the movie's name is Nayak. Got it? I hope you got the points. You can make this flowchart if you want, because it will be rubbed. Any doubts if you have, let me know, guys. So in this way you can connect the points, how the country is divided and how it works. Fine. So ultimately the thing is that we have a decentralized administration in India even today, and at that point of time also people used to like the system where decentralized administration is there. Now the governor of Mandalam was called Mandaleshwar or Nayak. Okay, sources of income to the government, if we say, local authorities had full power in administration. Land revenue was very important source of income, and I told you that always and always land revenue is the chief source of income for the government. It's very common in every empire, in every powerful area you will see. Okay, so land revenue was the important source of income. Tributes and gifts from the vassals and feudal chiefs used to come. What do you mean by vassals? Can you tell me? Vassals. Like I told you about the feudalism, Samantavadi Vyavastha. So they are, those big zamindars uh, people who were big landlords, they were known as vassals. They used to work for the king only. So these vassals and feudal chiefs, they used to give tributes and gifts to the king, and then customs were collected at the port, which shows that of course they had a good level of import and export and trade going on. A high level of import and export was there. Taxes on various professions were also there. Land revenue was fixed generally on 1/6 of the produce. Okay, 1/6 of the produce is common. Do you remember in ancient times also we have covered that everywhere land revenue was fixed to 1/6. But there are few exceptions, like in Delhi Sultanate we covered that they used to collect it 1/3 and sometimes half. Okay, but that was just an exception. Generally it is always 1/6, which you can remember. Fine. Justice system was there, yes. Harsh punishments such as mutilation, throwing the elephant, throwing the on the sides of the elephants, these were followed. Of course these harsh punishments were there at that time, and it's very common, it's quite common. Fine. Next important thing is that the army, it was very well organized and efficient army was there. Of course, Vijayanagar Empire was having dispute with Bahmani kingdom again and again. They had to fight, so they had to keep a good army. Okay, it consisted of cavalry, infantry, artillery, and elephants. I hope you know the meaning and difference. Cavalry, घुड़सवार सैनिक, infantry, पैदल सैनिक, artillery, बंदूक वाले और हथियार वाले सैनिक who will carry हथियार्स, elephants, of course, elephants were always there in India, common. Okay, then high-breeded horses were procured from the foreign traders. Of course, Arab horses were procured because we never had good high breed in India. Horses, they are not from India, never. Okay, we will always have to import them. So we used to import horses, so they were procured from the foreign markets. As I told you, Nayak is the CM, or the polygars are like the chief ministers. So Nayaks or polygars were the top grade officers in the army, and Nayak is also someone who will take the administration of the state. They were granted land in lieu of their services. Sometimes I told you that it was hard for the king to pay the officers on time and every month on the regular basis. So instead of giving them monthly salary, king used to give them a piece of land, that okay, you take this land, take care of it, grow the agricultural productions and activities should be there taken care by you, and then give me a piece of tribute out of it, and there from there only you can just take a part of your salary on your own. So in this way these people, they became hereditary owners of their land, and these polygars, when Britishers came in India, they were already having all these things and powers of land authority. So since ages they were making this land work. Now when Britishers came, they started taxation, their own system and policies. So polygars revolted. That's why there is a famous revolt, polygar revolt. Have you heard it? When you will go to the modern Indian history, there we will talk about different tribal revolts, peasant revolts. So polygar revolt is a very important revolt. We will discuss it later. Okay, so just remember this right now. We will link it in the modern history. And these lands were called Amaram. So remember, Amaram is the piece of land, and soldiers were usually paid in cash. If you talk about the social life, existence of four castes, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, like others had in North India, similar conditions were there. It is referred by Alasani Pedana in Manu Charitam, and we have so many accounts left by the foreign travelers which says about the society. The life was great. They had big buildings, splendor buildings, luxurious social life. Silk and cotton clothes were mainly used for dress. Perfumes, flowers, ornaments, they were used by the people. So people had a good lifestyle, a good standard of living was there. Okay, a good standard of living was maintained, and Domingo Pease, the Portuguese traveler, he mentions that beautiful houses of the rich people were there, and the large number of their household servants also used to be there. Niccolo Conte refers to the prevalence of slavery, dancing, music, wrestling, gambling, cockfighting. All these things were the some of the amusements. Religion was, of course, it was tolerant area. So Sangam rulers were chiefly Shaivite. They used to worship Shiva, but other dynasties were Vaishnavite. They worshipped Vishnu. Okay, so simply we can understand here that Vijayanagar empire was a Hindu empire. Rulers were Hindu, but they were tolerant. Okay, Shaivism of Ramanuja was very popular here. uh, and you will see the doctrine of bhakti also got popularized, more popularized in this time. And there is one correction, I just said Shaivism, it's not Shaivism, it is Shri Vaishnavism. Okay, so the Shri Vaishnavism of Ramanuj was very popular at this time. Please correct that particular thing which I just said. But all the kings were tolerant. And Barbosa is referred to the religious freedom enjoyed by everyone, like we do today. Constitution of India gives the religious freedom to all. So Barbosa is the religious freedom enjoyed by everyone. This is important, write it down, because in prelims they may ask you that what do you mean by Barbosa. So please write this. Barbosa, Borbosa, Barbosa is religious freedom enjoyed by everyone, and it was given in Vijayanagar Empire to the public. Fine. Now, Muslims were employed in the administration and they were freely allowed to build mosque and worship. So, Muslims also lived there, but we will find more Muslims in Bahmani kingdom, because Bahmani kingdom is a Muslim kingdom. Vijayanagar Empire is a Hindu kingdom. Okay. Now, next important thing is that the position of women, it had not improved. It was still the same. Some of them were learned, but no good level of social life was there. For women, I think when I look at the history and when I see things in the past, I feel that today, sometimes we say that it is the Kali Yuga, but I feel that we are in a better situation today. What do you think about it? Tell me in the comments. Like, uh, if it is said that Kali Yuga will be a very bad time, and today Kali Yuga aa gaya hai, Kali Yuga hai, bhai Kali Yuga hai, people say this. I feel that today women have better conditions in society. We have more equality. We have a democratic constitution. In the world, democracy is more popular. No harsh punishments like cutting the fingers, taking away the eyes are there. No wars where kings used to suppress their slaves. Uh, those taboos in the society against the LGBT community, which used to be there at that time, it is no more there. You have the judiciary, you have Supreme Court. So sometimes I feel, and even it is debated, like when you'll see, when if you read the optional subjects, there you'll see that these debates are highly discussed, that is it really a Kali Yuga or was it a Kali Yuga that time? Because people had a problematic life, and especially women, their conditions got very bad. If you talk about women, chandals, and so many other people from different lower castes, today we still have the caste disputes. Yes, we have class problems, but at least you have rights. You have a way to speak. You have a way to raise your voice. You have different kinds of organization. And if we talk about betrayal and dishonesty, it was there at that time also. It may be increased. I can say, I can understand and I agree that yes, it is increased more. Humanity is not that high, but overall the kind of rules, regulations, the kind of government which you're having, and the social level of development which we have today is better. Even if I just compare it from 20 years back, the society how it used to be there, the kind of thinkings which people had about society, like the way people used to think about the friendships, the way they used to think about the relationships, the live-in relationships, or the idea of marriage in society is now changed. Now people see it with a different perspective. They have more liberal views. We are more liberal, we are more understandable. So it's just sometimes exaggerating things and get just talking about the negativity in the society. But if you talk about a general life of a general public, you are more free today. Just imagine living in the time of, past era or any of these past dynasties, and just imagine that, unfortunately, if you could have been in a situation where you are from a lower caste group, or if you were a woman, or if you were a slave, then what kind of problem you could have faced. But today there is no slavery. There is no, even the servants, they are paid, and they have more, to say. लोग बाई से ज़्यादा डरते हैं, they are like, they have more fear that if house help नहीं आएगी तो क्या होगा उनका. So people are very much, dependent on house helps and these things. So yes, it's a debate which goes on the history. You'll read about this more, and it comes in your society. Okay, when you'll see GS paper 1, there is a topic society where we connect these points. That is it really a Kalyug today, or was it a Kalyug that time when people really had a miserable life? Fine. Next, some of them were learned, and if we talk about some of the exceptions, like Ganga Devi, wife of Kumar Kampana, she authored the famous work Madhur Vijayam. But look at her, Ganga Devi, she was the wife of Kumar Kampana. अब wife है राजा की, so she is like a queen. She is a queen basically, not like a queen, but she is a queen. So queens, if they are studying and writing, that is just an exception, and it was easy for them to get those educations and resources. But general public was not educated, no? Fine. I don't see your comments. I don't see any yes or no or any questions yet. Are you guys there? Is it working fine? I hope it's not getting boring for you. Or if you're not tired, let me know. Whenever you feel tired, I'll end. Okay? Don't worry. We already have a lot to cover, and I want to do the modern history with you. I want to start modern history after 3 days. So that's why be attentive in the class, be more interactive with me. I also should feel that you guys are listening and at least you guys are there. Okay? Okay, fine, fine. Okay, you guys are there, fine. Now, next is famous poets of this period. So we have Hanamma and Thirumalamma. These two poets were there, Thirumalamma and Hanamma. And according to Nunis, a large number of women were employed in royal palaces and as dancers, domestic servants, palanquin bearers. But see, again, they are not working in a public life. They are working in a royal court as a dancer or domestic servant. So it will never ensure that the improvement in social position of women will happen. No, it is not improving their system. Of course, Devdasi system was also there. We discussed Devdasi system, which came in the Chola, imperial Chola times only. But Domingo Pease mentions about it that it flourished more. Polygamy was prevalent among the royal family. Sati was honored, and Nunis writes about the description of Sati system. But Albuquerque banned it. Remember this, okay? But he banned it only in the area where he ruled. If we talk about the economic condition, agriculture continued to be the chief occupation of the people, of course, and the rulers provided a stimulus to its further growth by providing irrigational facilities. They used to make many dams and embankments, and dams and embankments were constructed again and again and repaired again and again by the rulers. New tanks were built and dams were constructed across the river, like Tungbhadra. Nuni is the writer. He refers to the excavation of canals also. There were numerous industries and they were organized into guilds. Metal workers and other craftsmen flourished during this period, and it is maybe just because Portuguese also started a lot of metallurgical arts in India. Diamond mines were located in Kurnool and Anantapur district, so they are important. You can write it down in the notes. Diamond mines were located in Kurnool and Anantapur district. Yes, you are right, Sri Lakshmi, that the position of women is improved and they are opening up more. Yes, exactly. That's what I was asking you. That if it is asked to you, if it the debate comes to you, then what your mind says. That do you think that it is really a bad time? We are not in a better position. Are we having a bad time today, which is a real Kaliyug, or you think that the situations are really better when we look back at the history? And right now you don't know about the full history, guys. You are just in the time where you are doing the Indian history. When you will do the world history, you will see the conditions were more bad. It was worse. The kind of in the middle times, in the medieval history, in the medieval world history, you'll learn about the dark age, the church evil, the society, how women used to be treated. Then you will be more shocked that at least in India, we always saw that sati system and position of women was not good, but still it was better than other countries. It was still fine. So then you will be very shocked to know about the other problems of the world. We will come to it. After doing modern history, we will do the world history. Okay. Next is the chief gold coin was the Varaha, but weights and measures varied from place to place. Vijayanagar was also a great center of trade, and inland, coastal, and overseas trade led to the general prosperity. Okay, so yes, because of all these things, Vijayanagar Empire was a great empire which had a good trade, good coastal relations, good prosperity. I told you about the chief gold coin, which was Varaha. So just remember, weights and measures varied from place to place, but overall they were doing fine. Next important thing is the seaport. Sorry. So we had Malabar coast, Kannanur, the chief one, the chief important coast. Okay, you will see that later Kannanur will be captured by Portuguese. Okay, commercial contacts they had with Arabia, Persia, South Africa, Portugal, on the west. So it shows that they had good relations, good foreign relations with other countries and traders. Burma, Malaya Peninsula, and China on the east also had good relations with Vijayanagar Empire. Chief items of export which we used to trade was cotton, silk, spices, rice, iron, saltpeter, and sugar. Okay, and we used to import horses, pearls, copper, coral, mercury, china silk, and velvet clothes. Okay, so you can see that there is nothing which makes us dependent on them. Like other than horse, I can see that other are just luxurious item. It is of not much use. Okay, so we were independent, we were self sufficient, we had everything what we liked, we wanted in our own country, in our own society. The art of shipbuilding had developed and it was going fine at that time. If we talk about the cultural contribution of Vijayanagar Empire, the chief characteristic of Vijayanagar architecture that the construction of tall Raya Gopurams, which I told you is big gateways happened, like Kalyan Mandapam, which is the big, assembly hall in the temple was also made. So very big assembly halls they made in the temple premises. The sculptures on the pillars were made to decorate it more. The horse was the most common animal found in these pillars. So just remember this point. They may ask you in prelims. Please write it down. They may ask you that what was the most common animal found on the pillars of Vijayanagar Empire. So please write. The horse was the most common animal sculpture found in the pillars of Vijayanagar Empire. Clear? Fine. Now, the most important temple of Vijayanagar or temple architecture of Vijayanagar is the Vitthal Swami and Hazara Ramaswamy temple. This is the eastern Gopuram of Vardharaj Perumal temple. You can see. Look at the Gopuram. The Gopuram itself looks like a temple, isn't it? It's just a Gopuram, it's just a gate. Okay, the Varaharaj and Ekam Paranath temple at Kanchipuram are very, very famous and important for us. Now, the most important temples of Vijayanagar style are found in the Hampi ruins of the city of Vijayanagar. Actually, the entire Vijayanagar was destroyed, no, after that battle of Thangadi, which I told you. So basically, the Deccan Sultanate Grand Alliance, they all came together, all the sultans, and they just, they just killed Daya. Devraya, and then they got the area. Casting of metal images was done, metal images of Krishna Devraya and his queens at Tirupati is there. Music and dancing were also patronized by the rulers. This is the elephant chariot of Hampi ruins. This is known as the Hampi ruins because Hampi city was destroyed. So we have only ruins, but even the ruins are so decorated, and even today they look so nice. This is Hazara Ramaswamy temple, you can see. We also saw the literary developments because the rulers themselves used to patronize a lot, and different languages like Sanskrit, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil flourished. These were great developments in Sanskrit and Telugu literature. We have seen that how Krishna Devaraya himself used to write a lot in Telugu and Sanskrit. Literary achievements was reached in the peak during the reign of Krishna Devaraya, who is also known as Andhra Bhoja. Remember this. He himself was a scholar in Sanskrit and Telugu, and his court poet Allasani Pedanna was a distinguished Telugu literature. Now next is Bahmani kingdom. Okay, quickly we will cover Bahmani kingdom in 10 minutes. Are you guys ready? Ready or not? And let me know if you have any doubts from Vijayanagar Empire. I have completed Vijayanagar Empire. I have completed all the dynasties and rulers. Like important one I have covered. Not everything, not every detail is important for you, but for GS I have done. So let me know if we can start Bahmani kingdom now. Okay, fine. So Bahmani kingdom, you can see here, it is on the neighboring area, is also having a big part. This is Khanadesh here. Okay, we will discuss Khanadesh because Khanadesh is like the middle of North and South India, and the Mughals will try to capture Khandesh first, and then they will penetrate in the South India. Now, Bahmani Sultanate is the Muslim Sultanate. Who was the founder? Alauddin Bahman Shah. Remember the name. He is also known as Hassan Gangu. So, he started the Bahmani kingdom in 1347. Okay. Who is the founder? Alauddin Bahman Shah, not Alauddin Khilji. Remember here, because it is a Muslim kingdom, Bahmani kingdom is a Muslim kingdom. We have Muslim rulers. So you'll see the names are similar to the Delhi Sultanate, because in Delhi Sultanate also in slave dynasty Muslim rulers were there. So they had the same Muslim names. In Islam, in Muslim, you will see that they use very common names again and again. Like for girls, like there is a very common name, Rukhsar. It is a very common name. So you'll see that they repeat the names very often. So don't get confused here. We are talking about Alauddin Bahman Shah, who is the founder of Bahmani kingdom. And he, had the capital in Gulbarg. Gulbarg was the capital of Bahmani kingdom. When we talk about sultans, there were a total of 14 sultans ruling over this kingdom. Among them, Alauddin Bahman Shah, Muhammad Shah I, Firoz Shah were important. Okay, Ahmad Wali Shah shifted the capital from Gulbarg to Bidar, which is important. And then, most important ruler is Muhammad Shah III. Okay, the power of the Bahmani kingdom reached its peak under his rule due to the advice and services of his minister Mahmud Gawan. Okay, and it extended from the Arabian Sea to the Bay of Bengal. On the west, it extended from Goat to not Goat, but Goa to Bombay, and on the east, it extended from the Kakinada to the mouth of the river Krishna. So it had a great area, okay, which is very much visible in the map also. You can see it here, right? So they had a big location, they had a big area. But the problem was that for Raichur Doab, they had fight. For Krishna Godavari Delta, they had fight with the Vijayanagar. Because, of course, for the fertile regions, the fight always used to be there. But, whatever they used to do, it failed. They lost many battles against the Vijayanagar Empire. But then a turning point came. You know the turning point? Yes or no? Tell me in the comment box. If you know, you will tell me. There will be a turning point. How? There will be a political advisor who will be coming and joining them in the Bahmani kingdom. And that political advisor will start a turning point. Whatever he will advise, he is like the Robert Clive of Bahmani kingdom. He will give the strategy to the Bahmanis to defeat Vijayanagar. And because of him only, Bahmani kingdom will be able to destroy the Vijayanagar city. So that's why you need to see that turning point. Okay. So come to the slide again. Mahmud Gawan. Okay. As I told you that there was a political advisor. So Mahmud Gawan was the political advisor. Basically, he was a Persian merchant. So Bahmani kingdom reached its peak under the guidance of Mahmud Gawan. He was a learned person and he had a great knowledge of mathematics. He made endowments to build a college at Bidar, which was built in the Persian style of architecture. He also had the military genius, and he waged many successful wars against Vijayanagar Empire, Odisha, and against the sea pirates on the Arabian Sea, because you will see later that sea pirates were there and piracy increased when the decline of Portuguese happened, because many of the Portuguese traders later you will see that they started with trading. They got the factories in Kannanur, Cochin, and Calicut. But later, when the decline of Portuguese happened in India, they started piracy. You will see that Shah Jahan will punish them, and ultimately they'll do piracy, and then they will just leave India like that. And they gave Bombay in dowry to East India Company, English East India Company. So we will discuss how King Charles he married Catherine, and then Bombay was given in the dowry. So Portuguese power will decline later. With the decline of Portuguese power, the piracy will increase more in the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, and people and rulers had to deal with it. So his conquest included Konkan, Goa, Krishna Godavari Delta. If we talk about the administrative reforms, they appointed royal officers in each province, which aimed to increase the control of Sultan over the nobles and provinces. Most of the forts were under the control of these officers. Okay. Next is the decline of Bahmani kingdom. How it declined? Basically, it got disintegrated among the sultans of Ahmednagar, Bijapur, Golconda, Bidar, and Bidar. You can see this is Bijapur, this is Gulbarg. The capital was shifted from Gulbarg to Bidar. You can see here, this is Bidar. This is Ahmednagar, this is Warangal, this is Devagiri, Daulatabad, where the capital was shifted by whom? Tell me, who shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri? What was the name of that ruler who did it? This was the experiment, but it failed. Devagiri or Daulatabad. This is Golconda. This is Bellary. This is Hampi. So these are the important locations you need to see. Look at the locations and let me know if you have any doubts from any of these points. Yes, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Yes, Tughlaq only shifted the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. He did it, but it was a failed experiment. Now, if we talk about the decline of Bahmani kingdom, the Sultan, Gavan was executed by the Deccan nobles. I told you about Mahmud Gavan. He later became a sultan, but he was executed, he was killed, and he was himself, he made many enemies basically. When you do so many good things and you achieve a lot, then you get enemies. So, nobles later became powerful. After the execution of Gavan, the Bahmani kingdom began to decline and disintegrate. Then Muhammad Shah was succeeded by weak sultans. So, after Muhammad Shah, there was no good ruler. During this period, provincial governors declared independence and disintegration started by the year of 1526. Why this year is important? Battle of Panipat, 1526. So Battle of Panipat 1526, the Bahmani kingdom had disintegrated and five independent sultans came. Ahmednagar Sultan, Bijapur Sultan, Berar Sultan, Golconda, Bidar. So when they all were joined together, it was known as the Deccan Sultanate, the Grand Alliance. So in this way, Deccan Sultanate got disintegrated and they started ruling on their own with their own way. Okay, like in Ahmednagar area, Nizam Shahi. Let me just make a correction here. From Ahmednagar, we had Nizam Shahi, ruler Nizam Shahi, Bijapur Adil Shahi, Berar Imad Shahi, Golconda Qutub Shahi, and from the area of Bidar, we had Barid Shahi. I'll write it here for you, Bidar. Farid Shahi. If you want, you can make this flowchart, write it down. Write it down in your notes. Very, very important. Quickly write it down. Yes, Battle of Panipat was there in 1526 only. That's why it is important. Can you write all these names? Make this a very important flowchart, and always make it whenever you get a question for mains. Important flowchart. Please make it clear. So, in this way, we have completed the discussion on the Bahmani also. So, what happened in the end? Can you tell me? This disintegration happened. That's fine. This disintegration happened, but what else? Any idea? Who will win these areas? Ultimately, who will rule these areas? Who will rule the area of Ahmednagar? Area of Ahmednagar, Bijapur. Who will rule it? Tell me. Can you tell me the name of the ruler? Let's see if you have any knowledge, if you can guess. One answer is Aurangzeb, which Arvind gave, but I'll just tell you. First of all, let me just tell you that we have ended the session. Today's session is ended. Nothing much is left. Okay, we have completed the topic. I'll just take your doubts now. Okay, whatever questions you have, and I also want to discuss the English channel with you, that what exactly you want right now. If you need anything, we will start that particular thing. So we will now talk. Okay, let's talk. Let's have a chit chat session. Okay, first of all, guys, let me just give you the answer about these kingdoms which got disintegrated in the end. But not Babur, but Mughals basically. They started their journey from North India. So Babur could not expand a lot. Why? Because Babur was the initial ruler. He had to establish the empire, so he was always busy in the establishment. He had a lot of works to do, so he was just busy in that. He could not secure more. So that's why Babur ruled only for 4 years, and ultimately, then then his death happened, and Humayun came. Humayun was also not able to penetrate in these areas. Why? Because Humayun also had disputes with his brothers, and he also had to regain the throne after 15 years of Surintragam, because Sher Shah Suri defeated Humayun. And for 15 years, you'll see Humayun was exiled. So, Sur dynasty worked in those 15 years in India. Then in 1555, you will see the development in India again when Akbar will be there. So, Akbar tried for the very first time. Okay. Akbar could not get a lot of area, but he got the Khanadesh area. Can you see that in the map? If you remember, Khanadesh, I have already mentioned it. See this area, Khanadesh. Okay, up till the Khanadesh, Akbar could capture it. But then Akbar wanted to go beyond this area, and he wanted to capture other areas of Ahmednagar. But Akbar could not get it very successfully. Okay, he tried, he penetrated. The base was prepared by him, but he could not completely achieve it. After Akbar, you will see Jahangir will come. But Jahangir never wanted to be a ruler. If you will see the history of Jahangir, you'll see that he never wanted to be a ruler. He wanted to do something else in his life. He just had different plans. Okay. But he had to become a ruler because no other brother was left. And nothing, nothing could be done which could be better at that time. So ultimately, Jahangir somehow maintained it. He never thought to expand it, but he only thought to maintain it. And on his, screen, you'll see that Noor Jahan, she had more control. Mehrunisa had more control, and she used to take care of the administration more than Jahangir. Her father was the revenue officer also. He was the diwan. So in this way, they were running somehow. Later, you will see when Shah Jahan will come after Jahangir. Shah Jahan will successfully capture this area. Okay. And Shah Jahan will send his son Aurangzeb to be the governor of this particular zone. Fine. So then Aurangzeb will be the governor. So I ask you the question that who really penetrated and got successful in this area? So initial base was prepared by Akbar. It was achieved more by Shah Jahan. By Shah Jahan, governors were established in this region, especially Aurangzeb. And ultimately, Aurangzeb completely destroyed the Deccan Sultanate. And it was done by Aurangzeb not to just expand the territory, it was also because Aurangzeb hated the Shia Muslims, because these were the Shia Muslims and Mughals were the Sunni Muslims. Sunni Shia dispute was always there, and it's still going on in Islam. So Aurangzeb wanted India to be converted as an Islamic state, and he used to hate Shia Muslims. So because of his hatred, he just got this area captured and destroyed so many regions. Now, due to this policy of Aurangzeb and due to his harsh religious policies, the treasury of Mughals, it got empty. No, nothing was left in the royal treasury. Everything was spent in the military conquest by Aurangzeb. That's why Aurangzeb had the biggest empire, but we never call him great. Okay, we call Akbar the Great, but we never say Aurangzeb the Great. Why? Aurangzeb was intolerant. He only thought about expansion. He wasted a lot of money in the military campaigns. Instead of consolidating the empire, he just thought to spread it more and more. With those spreadings, he could not take care of the Mansabdars and Jagirdars, due to which the crisis started with the later Mughals. In this situation, you will see Aurangzeb will make a huge mistakes, and due to that mistake, the rise of Marathas will happen. Do you know Marathas? The roots of Marathas are in the Bahmani Sultanate. That's why I discussed Bahmani Sultanate in brief with you. Why? Because Marathas are more in detail. Okay, you'll see that those Marathas basically, they were like soldiers. Okay, they were like mercenaries. They initially used to work under Deccan Sultanate. When Deccan Sultanate was disintegrated, Marathas became independent and they had to make their own zone, their own empire. So then they started making their groups and the rise of Shivaji happened. You will see the fight of Aurangzeb and Shivaji also later. So that's why I asked you that who ruled this area, because in this particular zone you'll see that Akbar, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb, they will try to capture and penetrate, but even after getting the hold, they won't be able to control it for a longer time because rise of Marathas will happen, and then Marathas will capture everything, and there will be a time when the Marathas, they will give the shelter to Mughals. Okay, initially there was a fight between Marathas and Mughals. Okay, but later both of them, they came together, they became like real Indian brothers, and they said that ultimately we need to fight against Afghans first, because Ahmad Shah Abdali was coming to India. So they had to plan and come together because they understood that ultimately foreign powers are coming and it will be more hard for Marathas and Mughals, both of them, to handle it. So they came together, but it was too late. Okay, it was a late realization. So that's why you should realize things, but it should be on time. If you realize the importance of something later, then that will be of no use. Okay, and on the right time, at the right place, if you get a good awareness and idea, then that can change your life. So you will see the clash of Marathas and Mughals during the time of Aurangzeb with the rise of Shivaji Maharaj, and then you will see the development of Marathas. There the Peshwas are very, very important, and then you will learn more about it in the next battles of Panipat. So first battle of Panipat we have covered. We have discussed what happened during that particular time of 1526. We have the idea right now. Just keep it in your mind. We will discuss more about Marathas and other South Indian uh, historical details before I come to the advent of Europeans. Just keep this in in your mind that Portuguese have reached India. Okay, they are here in India only from 1498 when basically when Vasco da Gama came. See, 1498, look at the date. It's a bit tough to remember. Sometimes people get confused and they write it wrong. Means they spell it wrongly in the exam. So just to remember, make it more clear. I told you what you can do it. Make it a zero figure पे ले आओ. So 1498 और 1500 ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है. It's only 2 years का difference. Okay, so it's better to keep the mind that 1500 Portuguese. So क्योंकि 1498 initially Vasco da Gama will come, then he will go back. Factories will be open later after 2 years. So 1500 you can remember that the Portuguese journey of ruling and acquiring land in India starts after 1500. Before that, they only searched and discovered a new sea route. So, if you will make it a zero figure, the dates will be more easier for you to remember. This is a trick of history to remember. I'll give you more tricks in the classes one by one. Not everything in just one go should come. So, I'll discuss more tricks like these to remember the names also, to remember the states also, to remember the maps also. With time you will learn it, but right now just keep it in mind that whenever you see a date, try to make it a zero. उसको जीरो फिगर पे ले आओ, मतलब मोटा मोटा याद कर लो. 1498 याद रखना मुश्किल है. If I say that give me 1498 rupees, you'll try to search for the change. But if I just say 1500, it's easy for you. Okay, what I do is instead of remembering it in dates, I try to remember it in money notes, cash. So I easily do it. So try to be calculative the way you want. Okay, be very calculative when you do it, and it will be very easy for you. Secondly, it is important because for CSAT also it will develop you as a, it will develop a practice for you, because in CSAT you need these small calculations of adjusting two numbers here and two numbers there, because this adjustment really makes your answer very easy, and without calculation you can get the right answers in the CSAT. So that's why keep it a habit, keep it in your habit, and practice it from today. Will with time, with 2 months, 3 months, you'll see that it's happening naturally to you. It will be something which will come automatically in your mind. Clear? Fine. So I hope there are no more doubts left for today's session. Can I end it today? Can I end it now? Yeah, one more thing I just wanted to ask you, like हम लोग हिंदी का channel शुरू कर रहे हैं अभी. We have started it. I have launched the channel, but I am just thinking to start something with you. So I have few ideas. We already have this NCERT series going on here in this particular channel. NCERT is already going. So let's do the standard book there. Okay, we can start with any standard book. So is there any book summary you want, or detailed series on a book you want? We have few options, like we can start with R.S. Sharma or Satish Chandra, or we can do Spectrum. We can do any other book like Bipin Chandra. So you do, or Nitin Singhania's Art and Culture is also there. So if you have any particular demand, you can tell me, because I have not started any course. But once I started, then it will be a compulsion on my side to complete it. So let me know where are you struggling, or you want me to follow a sequence like first I do the ancient history ka standard book, then I do the medieval history standard book, then I'll do the modern histories standard book, world history, like this you want to go, or if you have any particular book where you are struggling, do let me know. जो भी होगा वो एक मिक्स्ड लैंग्वेज में होगा और हिंदी स्टूडेंट्स के हिसाब से बनाया जाएगा। मे बी हमारी स्लाइड्स ये जो पीडीएफ है वो पूरी हिंदी में ना हो, कुछ तो हिंदी में हो सकते, कुछ हो सकता है ना भी पॉसिबल हो, बट हम कोशिश करेंगे कि जितना हो सके हिंदी लर्नर्स को भी फ़ायदा हो एंड वो भी कुछ सीखें। तो आप मुझे बता सकते हैं कि हाउ यू वांट इट। Yes, thank you so much, guys. The students can leave the session who don't have any doubt. Topic is done. I'm just discussing that what exactly you want. Okay, one I can see Sri Lakshmi is saying standard book of spectrum. Okay, Arvind is saying R.S. Sharma. Fine. Do you think that we can have a sequence जैसे हमने इसमें follow किया going topic wise ancient से, because अभी just आपने ancient ख़त्म भी किया है एनसीईआरटी का, तो आपको एनसीईआरटी के ही टॉपिक के हिसाब से अगर चलो तो एंशियंट अभी जस्ट हुआ है, तो अभी एंशियंट का ही स्टैंडर्ड बुक ख़त्म कर लोगे तो एंशियंट का एनसीईआरटी भी हो जाएगा और एंशियंट का आर एस शर्मा भी हो जाएगा। फिर इधर मिडिवल ख़त्म होगा तो इधर मिडिवल का भी फिर हम स्टैंडर्ड बुक साथ साथ ख़त्म कर लेंगे। तो डोंट यू थिंक दैट इन दिस सीक्वेंस द इंटायर हिस्ट्री सिलेबस वुड बी कवर्ड नाइसली? Because if we will directly jump to spectrum, you will not understand because we have not started modern history yet. अभी एनसीईआरटी वाले में हमने शुरू नहीं किया है ना मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री, तो जब तक हम एनसीईआरटी का मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री शुरू नहीं करेंगे तो वहाँ पे भी हम स्पेक्ट्रम शुरू नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि फिर मज़ा नहीं आएगा। हाँ, सो ठीक है, सीक्वेंस विल बी बेटर। डन। सो आर एस शर्मा से शुरू करते हैं। I'll launch it. I'll make the first video of R.S. Sharma very soon and will be uploading it on the channel. Some strategies videos are also coming there. So stay tuned. And in case you get any doubts, I'm always there to discuss that with you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for coming. See you then. Take care. Bye bye.